we are going to start off the next session. We are going to be discussing the QuadPara Association's Work Readiness Programme. For those of you who have seen our issue 4 will know we had a success story in which we spoke about how one specific QASA member and successful candidate was able to secure permanent employment after the program. And so we have on with us today Zandile, who is the project coordinator for QASA, and also the manager of this project. We also have Nkosinathi, who is from Momentum, an organization, well, everybody knows who's Momentum, but they support the program. Nkosinathi is the portfolio head of youth employment at Momentum. Welcome so much, guys, and thank you so much for joining us. I think let's maybe jump on board with Nkosinathi so that we can get your questions out of the way. I know you are a busy man, so we don't want to keep you too long. Just quickly run through some of the questions that we have. I think first and foremost, just from my side, I was curious as to, what motivated Momentum to become involved with the QASA Work Readiness Programme, and what about the program stood out for Momentum?
Yes, thank you for that question. And I think, the relationship between QASA and Momentum goes back a very long way, because the Momentum Metropolitan Foundation, disability used to be one of our areas of focus for the longest of time. And that's when we started to walk the journey with QASA. And now in the past 3 years now, with the Momentum Metropolitan Foundation objectives and focus areas shifting, we now looked at youth employment. And before we even start new partnerships elsewhere, we looked at the existing partners that we have. And since we have worked with QASA very much closer to the Momentum brand, we looked at now what it is that we can partner with QASA that will still speak to youth employment. And that's how the Work Readiness Program was one of the programs that we definitely wanted to partner on, where we're now looking at youth with disability in making sure that young persons with disabilities are also, encouraged to be economically active.
Wonderful. Do you maybe want to tell us a bit more about the Momentum program and what the aim is with your funding that you provide?
Yes, definitely. With Momentum being one of the client-facing brands in the Momentum Metropolitan Holding Group, what we do is we get the mandate and the directive from the Momentum Metropolitan Foundation. And then with that, we find partners that will align with our strategic objectives, in this case being a youth employment. And then with the partners that we work with in that space, that's when now we use our client-facing brands, to help tell the narrative and to also, bring closer the partnerships, as we have worked very much closely with QASA using the Momentum brand. And we are continuing to work using the client-facing brands in this space, whereby now the funding that we're getting from the foundation is dispersed amongst, a variety of programs that speaks to youth employment. And when it comes to QASA specifically, the Work Readiness Program resonates with us very well in terms of now the mandate of the foundation, in terms of making sure that our programs are accessible, and also making sure that we don't, find a young persons with disabilities not being catered for, because we know that the high unemployment rate the country is currently faced with, and we're also looking at what are the other challenges that are being faced by the designated groups, such as persons with disabilities. So this speaks quite well with the mandate and the strategic objectives of the Momentum Metropolitan Foundation, in such a way that it speaks to getting young people economically active, getting them upskilled, and most importantly, making sure that we make the economy accessible with disabilities.
Yeah, and I think that's it's such an important job, and such an important project that you guys are running. And I think especially the focus on youth employment, because something not a lot of organizations or news organizations mention when they talk about unemployment is that the rate of unemployment amongst youth is significantly higher than the general unemployment rate in South Africa. So thank you so much for the work that you guys do and for supporting the QuadPara Association. So next up, I was thinking we can just quickly talk about what Momentum hopes its involvement will mean for the program and for the candidates.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. In terms of, what we hope, to get out of this, and more especially for the candidates, we also had to, take a look inwards to say what it is does this mean for us as an organization? Because as you know, that in most organizations, we also have, your employment equity targets, whereby we also have to have a workforce that also, has a representation in terms of getting persons with disability in the workforce. So for us now, in terms of going forward, is to make sure that this program and this partnership will also help us as an organization to have a pool that we can tap into when we want to recruit, candidates. And also we're hoping that other corporates and other businesses out there can also join forces with us in making sure that we're making, employment opportunity accessible and available to persons with disability or young people with disabilities as well, so that we can also have this big ripple effect in terms of making sure that there is significant impact, that we can derive from this program, and to make sure that we get our youth employed, and most importantly, across all spectrums and across, all designated groups as well. So that's our wish and our hope, to make sure that this program can make sure that other opportunities are being explored and other opportunities are being made available by corporate South Africa out there.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely wonderful. And that's such a great way of approaching it, as well as making sure that it's not just about giving the learners the opportunity to go through this program, but also making sure that there's other opportunities for them going forward in terms of employment, and of course enriching your workforce as well with some people with disabilities, because there's a lot to offer, which is awesome. And then I just wanted to also ask, what are some of the other programs that Momentum is supporting to help people with disabilities, or just, people in need in general?
Yes, we do have other programs. And as I've stated that through the Momentum Metropolitan Foundation, this is our third year where we are fully focused on youth employment. So we do have other programs that we are in partnership with, in as far as, looking at the IT and the digital space. So we do have programs that speaks to that, where it's an IT orientated type of a program, where we're doing coding, we're doing IT technical support, and programming, web design. So we do have programs that speak to that. And also we do make sure that in those particular programs, there is, inclusion as well, so that it also caters for a variety of, candidates as well. And we're also looking at, the entrepreneurial space, whereby we know that the economy, we need to have job creators. We can't heavily rely on the current sectors that are there, but we need to encourage our young candidates, our young South Africans, to also, become the next employer, so that we can, ignite that spirit of entrepreneurship, and making sure that we harness, we coach them, and they're at the point whereby they can also, start now creating more job opportunities. And then the third pillar that we're focusing on also is vocational training. That is mostly where more of the entry-level jobs are based, whereby, through vocational training, we can use that as an entry level, and then also encourage our candidates to make sure that they also, have the license to dream beyond that, whereby they can get upskilled while they're earning an income, and also aspire, to go to the next level and take either an entrepreneurial route, or maybe go as far as the digital field or career path as well. So those are the three pillars through which the Momentum Metropolitan Foundation is, delivering in the youth employment. And that is currently where some of our other programs are being hosted.
That's absolutely wonderful. And I loved what you also mentioned about giving them the opportunity to create their own businesses and create new business opportunities, because, unfortunately in South Africa, there is limited work opportunities. And if you can create opportunities yourself, that is what you want to do, is you want to create new opportunities for you to go out and go do work. And of course, also just getting them in, just getting them in the working environment, because sometimes getting that entry into a business is really all it takes, and then they flourish and work hard, and because South Africans are quite hardworking people. So thank you so much for that. We do have a comment just from Raven Benny, who is the QASA COO, who says, well done for Nkosinathi for joining our webinar. Thank you for Momentum's support to our work readiness program. Long may this partnership last. Raven, I don't know if you want to maybe ask anything or comment, make any comments on live now with Nkosinathi.
Yes, I would love to. I would love to. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Let me first apologize. We're struggling with our connectivity here. But Nkosinathi, thank you very much for what you are doing today and for supporting our program throughout. I do have Zandile also with me, and she also echoes that sentiment. We cannot do it without the support of funders, dedicated funders such as Momentum. And it's a mutually beneficial relationship where we rely on the funding of them to support our program and also to impact positively into the lives of the unemployed youth. So together we are tackling a problem that we have as a country. So thank you very much for this partnership. I hope that this arrangement can last for as long as we can, and for engagements such as these, where we can promote the impact that the organization has and programs have on the lives of the people. So well done, Nkosinathi. Thank you, Zandile, and you too, Mariska.
Wow, thanks for that, Raven. I think it's quite important to also, be grateful of the partnership that we have formed with QASA, amongst other partners that we have. And us as Momentum Metropolitan Foundation, we don't see ourselves as a funder, but we see ourselves more of a partner, because our relationships they go beyond just the monetary support, and we go in as far as also making sure that we come up with financial management programs whereby we have financial literacy initiatives that we also work with our partners, as we are currently working with QASA now on some of our financial literacy programs, whereby now we also want to educate our young candidates in terms of a good money management skills, especially at an early stage before they go out there to get that income. And with us as an organization as well, we do have a very rigorous staff volunteer program, whereby we also encourage our staff to volunteer their time, their skills, in making sure that they also connect with our NPO partners, and they can also do some of the volunteer work in their own time, in their own accord, but making sure that our partnership just goes beyond the handing over of the funds, but making sure that it is a true partnership in its entirety, whereby we walk the journey together.
Yes. And Mariska, if I can come in there, Nkosinathi, you mentioned it there, that collaboration is very important. And we would like to see ourselves as bringing that, not only that diversity, but we can create that awareness of disability in society. If you mention you have your volunteers, your colleagues and your staff also that volunteers in the organization, we appreciate that, because that is where we can impart skills on each other, where we can join hands and together tackle the social problems that we have in our country. And I'm very glad to mention that we do have Momentum as a partner here. It's not the first time that we have your funding. We've been appreciative of your support ever since the relationship has started. But together, that is how I feel that we can tackle the problems, not only that we have as an organization, but that we have in our communities, because that is where the empowerment starts. Our program is about holistic change. If you are work ready, you will be earning. So you will need to know how to manage the finances that you will earn. And that is some information that you can take with you wherever you go. So thank you very much for that partnership. We appreciate that.
It's an absolute pleasure, Raven. And I think from us as well, we do learn from partners such as QASA as well. That's why we very much, focused on having those meaningful partnerships, because they also build us as a corporate in order to also go and sensitize, the business community, and also sensitize our staff about, challenges that are being faced by communities out there. So I think such partnerships, these are supposed to be, encouraged and amplified to an extent whereby our, regular and ordinary South Africans can learn a thing or two from these.
That's absolutely wonderful, and it's great to know that this partnership it goes both ways and everybody is benefited from it. Nkosinathi, I don't want to keep you too long because obviously I'm sure you have quite a lot of work that's on your plate. I do want to say if there's anyone on our Facebook Live or on the Zoom chat that has any questions about Momentum, its projects, what they're offering, their involvement, please do pop us a question. But then also from my side, Nkosinathi, I just also want to know, where can people find out more? You know, where can they go to find out more about your project, your programs, and how can they get involved?
Yes, thanks for that question. We can be reached on the internet. You can go to our website. It's the Momentum Metropolitan Foundation.co.za. And we also do have social media presence. You can find us, our handle, especially on Twitter, it's at MomMetZA. That's our Twitter handle. And then you can be able to follow us and see a variety of initiatives that we are working on. And I think platforms such as this one will also help us, you know, to tell the story and get the word out there so that we can also, you know, attract more other partners in making sure that we're getting our young people economically active.
Great, thank you so much. I'll also just mention to our readers that all of the sessions that we're doing today are being recorded, and we will be uploading them to our YouTube channel. What we'll do as well is we'll link all of the Momentum social media sites, the websites, the programs when we post to YouTube. So you should be able to get all of the information there as well if you can't find it today. Nkosinathi, I don't see any questions or comments, but is there anything else that you would like to add before we let you go?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. And what I'd like to add is to encourage everyone to stay safe during these very challenging times. And with us keeping safe, we also adhere to the fact that life has to go on. And thanks to the efforts that QASA have made in making sure that the work readiness program does carry on online on a virtual platform, which also makes it more easier and easily accessible for the candidates, you know, without traveling back and forth to the campus. So we really encourage everyone to stay safe. And thanks to QASA for such innovative, out-of-the-box thinking partnership. And we're looking forward to a very much rewarding 2021.
Great. Thank you so much, Nkosinathi. We really, really appreciate it. We loved having Momentum, and thank you so much. I see Raven there clapping hands, so we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure.